A good Sunday morning to everyone, and welcome to Mather Park. We're on the campus of Case Western Reserve University for a Sunday, Game 4 of a 4-game series with the Spartans of Case Western and the Eagles of Emory traveling up from Atlanta, Georgia. And the Spartans have not been nice hosts so far in the first 3 games. 3 games, 3 wins for Case Western Reserve University. The Emory Eagles will try to salvage at least 1 win in this 4-game series this morning here at Mather Park. My name is Ron Yantz. My partner, as always, Sarzucci, and of course our sports information director sitting next to us, Fast Eddie Karakis. And the public address announcer here at Mather Park is the Hall of Famer, none other than Otto Penica. We're pleased to bring you today's Game 4 matchup. Kylie Hosey is on the mound for the Spartans of Case Western Reserve, and the first batter for Emory will be their senior center fielder, Paige Nellis. Hosey 9-0 on the year. She got a win yesterday in the doubleheader against this Emory Eagle team. That's Jagoda back in center field and Kella at the warning track with the first out of the inning.
And that looks a lot like the first pitch that we saw against Hosey yesterday. And not only Paige Nellis, but those first couple batters in the lineup we talked about were swinging early at the first pitch, and if not, the second pitch in the count. And so it seems like we're going to start that way against Hosey again today, but this time it doesn't end up in a base hit for Emory.
Second lefty in this lineup for India Childs for Emory. And that's a little slap single that will fall short of Stevie Rieger. So first pitch again, Sar. And that's a base hit for Ashley Chu.
And that's good to see her get back in that column. She really struggled over the course of this series getting hits. She only has 1, and that came in the 3rd game of the series, 2nd game yesterday. So for her to get on base, that's a huge boost for Emory already.
Yeah, she was 1 of 10. She came into the series hitting well above 500. She's still above 500, but it has gotten close to 400. It's at 506. Chu's on at first. And at the plate, one of the strongest hitters, I think, in this Emory lineup is Ellie Zaire. Zaire, first year player for the Emory Eagles. She has hit 2 home runs in this series against the Spartans. Second pitch is outside for ball 2.
And Ashley Chu is a speedy player. She's got 21 stolen bases this year. Don't be surprised to see her take off, but you can see Karen Potts from short very tight to that second base bag right now.
Hosey yesterday pitched 4 innings against this Emory team, gave up 6 hits, and she struck out 2, didn't walk anybody. She gave up 2 hits and 2 runs, and one of them was a home run to Zaire. I take that back. She did not give up a home run to Zaire. Miskey yesterday gave up the home run to Zaire. Zaire has hit 2 home runs off Lexi Miskey. The 3-0 pitch is in for a strike.
And Kylie Hosey would love to get back into this count, make this full count, force Chu to go from first, and maybe even turn a double play. We saw a couple opportunities for that yesterday.
Ground ball, Biz Berry across the diamond. And the second out of the inning, Barry to Russo. Moving to second on the ground ball is Ashley Chu.
Now batting, number 21, Ella Hoyle.
Ella Hoyle, the sophomore first baseman at the plate now for Emory. Hoyle on the year is hitting above 400. She's at 402.
And she was 2 for 2 in that second game off of Hosey yesterday, 2 of the 6 hits that they had.
Josie Henry has the entire team in the circle. Josie over 300 wins as the leader of this Spartan program in 13 years.
Probably talking about how they want to deal with Ashley Chu on second. Haven't really seen a lot of players in scoring position for Emory, and to see a player who's as talented as her, a base hit will certainly send her home here.
The runs have not come often for Emory so far in the first 3 games of this 4-game series. Emory has scored only 5 runs against the Spartan pitching staff. And they're hitting just 179. Now, I put an accent on that because they came into this series as a team in their first 24 games hitting 375. And Hosey starts with a strike. Hosey ahead in the count now. No balls, 2 strikes to Ella Hoyle. Kylie Hosey on the year. This is her 10th start, and in her previous 9, she's got 9 wins, 9-0.
We saw her get a couple strikeouts yesterday, use that changeup. This would be a time that she could possibly bring that out.
The 0-2 pitch on the outside corner at the knees, and it's called strike 3. So Hoyle is down looking. Hosey gets her first strikeout of the game, and the Spartans will come to bat. We head to the bottom half of the first. Emory nothing. Case Western Reserve is up next. On the mound for Emory is a pitcher that the Spartans have not seen in the first 3 games of this series, Georgia Pineda. Georgia on the season has appeared in, this would be her 11th game for this Emory team. It will be her 6th start. She's got 3 wins, 1 loss. She has thrown coming into today 20 1/3 innings. And she's given up 21 runs. Her earned run average is 7.23. Kella Jagoda will lead it off, as always, for the Spartans. The senior center fielder looks at a ball low on her first pitch. Pineda, the left-hander, second pitch, Jagoda to the hole at shortstop, and it's by Grace Cooper, and it's into left field. If Cooper scoops that backhanded wise, I don't know if she gets Jagoda. Kella out of the left side of the box pretty quick.
Yeah, she's fast. On top of that, yeah, you're right, being a left-hander, I don't know if that throw is going to get to first. That's a hit either way. Kella Jagoda did a nice job that time just finding that spot in between third and short. It's a tough spot to hit, especially for a left-handed batter, but it gets her on base to start this off for the Spartans.
Jagoda is now 6 of 10 in the series. So this is her 4th game. She's got 6 hits and 10 at-bats. This is Potts Karen, the first-year shortstop. Karen hitting a very pedestrian 3 for 9, 333. I say that because, I mean, you could say she's in a slump in this series.
Yeah, I mean, that first game is really what's killing those numbers. She was 0 for 4 on Friday. And outside of that, it's been lights out for her all season, hitting 405 on the year.
Jagoda running, throw down, Jagoda slide, and she's out at second base. That is the first time in the series that the Emory Eagles have thrown out a Spartan runner. Lillian Ware with a real nice throw to the shortstop, Grace Cooper.
Yes, stolen bases have been a regular for the Spartans so far in this series. And now, Kella Jagoda, it's the first time she's failed to do it.
So Potts is hitting now with the bases clean. The count's 1-1. Pineda's fastball sails outside. Georgia Pineda, if you look out at the 9 right now in the field for Emory, is one of 5 freshman players. 5 of the 9 out there right now for Coach India Childs are in their first year in this Emory program. You've got a sophomore in left field and 1 senior, the center fielder, the leadoff hitter, Paige Nellis. Counts 2-2, 1 out. Scoreless game. We're in the bottom half of the first. Case Western reserve on the season. They've played 24 games. They've won 22 of them. And they are 7-0 in University Athletic Association play. That's high. The count's now full. Emory came into this series 16 wins, 8 losses, feeling pretty good about themselves. And now they're staring at a 4-game sweep.
Especially for a young team, though, if they can steal one against this nationally ranked Spartans team, that would be a huge boost for them, not only this season but going forward.
So Potts will walk. You mentioned nationally ranked. Spartans ranked 6th in the country in Division III this week. Trine University is ranked number 1. The Spartans are the only team in the University Athletic Association that's ranked in the top 25. Washington University won again yesterday. They have just 2 losses in UAA play. They're 5-2. Spartans will try a steal again and again. That is 2 for 2 for Lillian Ware. That is the perfect throw right into the sliding Karen Potts.
And it's a completely different atmosphere for them defensively than it's been. As you mentioned earlier, Ron, it was the Spartans stealing at will the first 3 games of the series. So Emory has made some sort of adjustment, it looks like, between Lillian Ware and Grace Cooper over at short to get that figured out.
Well, a lot of times you can steal on the pitcher, not necessarily the catcher. And what I mean by that is if you pick your moments based on the type of pitch that you're guessing the pitcher's going to throw, you've got a better opportunity. Now, to be honest, I don't know what Georgia threw on those 2 throwouts by Lamb. If she was throwing a fastball or a changeup, I wasn't paying that particular attention. But a lot of times you can run on the pitcher.
And it could be, too, they haven't seen Pineda yet this series, so that could be affecting their decision. They're not as sure of when they want to steal like they were in the first couple games.
So this is Kai Gross, and Kai, the count is 2-1, the senior second baseman. Gets a pitch, center field, deep, wall, gone. Kai Gross with her second home run in 2 days.
This one a little different. We weren't sure if that one was going to go. Yesterday nailed the scoreboard with her long ball, and she is hitting these ones at will, it seems. She's doing a great job. The last couple days has really come alive. A great series so far for her. She was already hitting 400 up until now, and that's a huge lift for the Spartans. After those 2 outs, they still managed to get on the scoreboard here in the first inning.
You know, Sar, you mentioned the scoreboard yesterday with Kai. After the game, I saw her and her mom and their dad, and I said, have you ever seen anybody hit one over the scoreboard? And they all shook their head yes, and then they pointed at her. And then there's a ball by the K in the Mather Park on that scoreboard. There's a white softball. And Kai's dad said, that's Kai's. She hit it in batting practice one day, and it rattled the cage up there at the top of the scoreboard and actually stayed. So she's no stranger to that scoreboard. Stevie Rieger now at the plate. Rieger straightaway center field. Settling under it, making a nice catch is Paige Nellis. Spartans score 1 on the Kai Gross solo shot to center field. We head to the top half of the second inning. It's Case Western Reserve 1, Emory nothing. This is Grace Cooper at the plate for Emory, the talented first-year shortstop. She has made some nice plays at short for the Eagles. That pitch is in the dirt. Handled nicely by Caitlin Lamb. Talking to Coach Henry about Caitlin, she has certainly settled in to be her everyday catcher. And I asked her why, and she said one of the reasons, one of the biggest reasons, is her defense. Fly ball to Rieger and left, and Stevie comes in on it, almost sailed over her head, but luckily Stevie's tall enough, and she brought that one in.
You talk about Caitlin Lamb at catcher, and she's a player who didn't play as much, especially in that starting role the last 2 years, and she's really settled in not only as a defender, but on the offensive end has been a regular batter in this Spartan lineup and has been doing a really nice job over the course of this season, a real power hitter for Josie Henry.
Hosey's first pitch is a called strike. This is Sonia Klein, the freshman third baseman. Klein on the year in 27 games is hitting .260. She's got 19 hits in those 27 games, and 5 of them for her extra bases. 4 doubles and a home run. 1-1 pitch, pop up, infield. Lamb is under it, and Caitlin catches it. I talked about yesterday how hard those straight-up pop-ups are because the velocity or the rotation of the ball actually moves it either away from you, in Caitlin's case there, or sometimes it'll sail over your head. And Lamb almost dropped that one, but Hosey was right there. It'd have been interesting to see if Kylie could have scooped it, if it popped out of Caitlin's glove.
I think she was ready for it, too. She looked like she was prepared, and Biz Berry was also flying in from third.
That's Kai Gross. Catches the soft line drive off the bat of Lillian Ware, and Kylie Hosey has a 1-2-3 real easy inning. We head to the bottom of the second. It's 1-0 Spartans.
Biz Berry.
Biz Berry, the talented sophomore third baseman for Case Western Reserve, will lead off the bottom of the second. Pineda's first pitch on the outside corner, just a little too outside. It's called for ball 1.
How about Biz Berry in her game yesterday in the second game of the day? She was 2 for 3, scored a run as well. See if she can keep that going here in game 4.
Pineda, Berry, third base, and one third baseman to another. Sonia Klein across the field to Ella Hoyle, and Berry is down 5-3. The Spartans came into this series, strong in pitching and, not great, not bad in hitting, just, somewhere in between. But, man, in this series, they have just exploded offensively.
Absolutely. They're hitting .416 over the course of the series. They had 32 hits coming into the day, add 2 already, so 34 here in the 4th game. They've got 10 doubles, a home run, add another one again this morning from Kylie Gross. It's just been, as you mentioned, an explosion offensively. They're a juggernaut, and they've been tough to stop.
And one of the Spartans who's had a real nice series is in the right-handed batter's box right now, Elena Steffes. Steffes with a foul ball, right field line, and nobody will get to it. Steffes, one of the first-year players seeing significant time on this 6th-ranked team.
And Steph is hitting .571 in this series. She's got 4 hits, 7 at-bats, included double, 2 RBIs. She's a player that, again, has cemented herself in this starting lineup where she wasn't necessarily a lock at the beginning of the year.
Pineda's 0-2 pitch. Steffes fouls it back. Good crowd on hand here today at Mather Park. It's the hands down nicest day of the previous 2. Yesterday wasn't bad. Friday was not good. The 0-2 pitch. And once again, a foul.
And Steffes is not going to shy away from any pitch. She feels like she can take anything that any of the pitchers we've seen in this series are throwing at her.
Pineda in 20 innings pitched this year has 16 strikeouts. And that's fouled straight back. She's great with her control. She's walked only 4 batters in 20 innings. But she's given up 33 hits. And in that first inning, the Spartans had her number, certainly. If it wasn't for Lillian Ware behind the plate throwing out 2 would-be stealers, that would have been a big inning for Case Western. The 0-2 pitch again. And again, fouled back. I'm going to ask Fast Eddie Karakas, how many pitches in this at bat so far? 7, 6. 6 pitches. All of them strikes. One more time, and we'll do it again. Emory looking an awful lot like Case Western Reserve, uniform-wise, in the field. They're wearing navy blue. Spartans are in gray, but, man, they look a lot alike. Foul tipped, and it's held on to. And that is a well-earned strikeout by Georgia Pineda. Her first of the afternoon. We're not quite yet in the afternoon, though, are we? Game started at 11 on a Sunday. Bella Russo at the plate. Russo, the junior first baseman. Pineda starting to settle in. She's having a much better second inning than her first. Russo looks at ball 1. Bella from Amherst, New York. Played her high school softball at Nichols High School. That is on the outside part of the plate. This is the first umpire in the 4-game series that has not given the outside pitch for a strike. And the previous 3 have really been liberal with that outside strike.
Yeah, they've been stretching the strike zone. I mean, all 3 of those games. Today it doesn't look like it's going to be that way.
Russo on the year, hitting .311. Count will even now at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And with Pineda not having played so far this series, may not be as much of an adjustment for her, but on the other side, for Kylie Hosey, she saw what the strike zone was yesterday, so if she starts trying to push those pitches to the outside corner, it might not hit as well as they were a day ago.
Well, the consistency is the key, and we can't argue that all weekend. They have been consistently calling them on the outside part of the plate, and today on the inside. That's a little flare caught by the third baseman, Sonia Klein, and the inning is over. 3 up, 3 down for the Spartans. We'll head to the top half of the third. It's 1-0, Case Western Reserve. This is Kayla Lang at the plate for Emory here in the top half of the third. Slow ground ball. Coop's going to have to fire it. Potts does. And Russo in and out of her gloves. In and out of her glove. So Potts with a strike. Across the field to Bella Russo. Didn't work out for the Spartans, and Kayla Lang's on at first base.
And there was another one of those first pitch swings going right at Kylie Hosey. They want to get back to it, try and get these runners on base so they can capitalize on it.
Number 9 hitter in the Emory lineup, Abby Wiley, shows bunt, and it's a called strike.
And especially because they got a hit from that top of their lineup from Ashley Chu. If they can get a bunt down here, advance the runner to second, now you go back to the best part of your lineup, and the lineup that's been most successful over the course of the series getting hits, and you certainly have a chance to send a runner home from there, especially with just 1 out, assuming the bunt gets you 1.
Swing and a miss, not bunting this time, and the count is 0-2, and sorry, you're exactly right. The top of that lineup, actually the first 5 hitters, I would argue, are very, very good. Abby Wiley on the year. This is just her 15th plate appearance in 26 games. And the 0-2 pitch, tough one to take. It's called for a ball. Abby's got 3 hits. 2 of those 3 are doubles. Wiley, the right fielder. Lang's on at first. Pitch to Wiley, fouled back. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kylie Hosey out of Medina High School. Yesterday it was nice when Kylie pitched in game 2. It was Medina Youth Softball Day here yesterday at Mather Park, and lots of little Medina bees running around. Hosey with that off-speed pitch that Wiley did a nice job just to stay alive. One ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Spartans up a run. We're in the top half of the third. And again, inside, and again a ball. Counts even at 2, so Wiley has worked her way back. We have seen some real good battles so far between pitcher and hitter. Steffes had, I think, a 8 or 9 pitch at bat. Elena for Case Western before Pineda finally struck her out. This one is starting to rival that. The 2-2 pitch outside, little flare. Kai Gross with it at second base. Lang will stay at first, and here's the top of the order.
Now batting, number 2, Paige Nellis.
So if Nellis can get on here, you might be able to advance a runner to second, possibly to third. If Ashley Chu gets back in the rhythm that we saw earlier in the season, this could be very dangerous. Kylie Hosey's got to get out of this without getting any runners any further.
Nellis likes the first pitch, and she looks at this one. It's a changeup for a strike. And Hosey definitely changed her approach. Did not throw a fastball on the first pitch.
That's right. That's what we saw not only in the first pitch that she threw to Nellis today, but also yesterday. The first pitch, a couple of the first batters were fastball, and this time I think she knew that. She knew what Emory was going to give her. Went to that changeup, which is her best pitch.
Went right with the outside fastball on the corner for strike 2. So Nellis is in the hole. No balls, 2 strikes. Kayla Lang at first. Nice play. Potts across the field. Got the out at first. Karen Potts. One of her many strengths, Sar, that arm.
Yeah, that arm has been very talented. We've seen that a couple times. That one turned her all the way around, and to get that right arm whip across her body and make that throw is not an easy task.
In the hole, backhand, and got the leadoff hitter with speed coming out of the left side. 2 outs, runner at second. And the Ashley Chu threat is in the batter's box. Chu has been, well, coming into this weekend, just outstanding. 45 hits, the most on the team.
And that last out is big. Even though you get that runner to second, now you have an out at first that ends the inning, so you don't have to worry about that runner getting to third.
One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Spartans up a run, top of the third. Count now moves to 1-2. Sunny day, not a cloud in the sky. Hosey's next pitch, outside for a ball. Chu on the year in 99 at-bats. So you add the one that she's already gotten today. So in 100 at-bats. And Hosey got her to wave at 1, and that's strike 3. I was about to say does not walk much. And she likes to swing, and we proved it there. So Hosey with another strikeout. It's a big one to end the top of the third. We head to the bottom half. Spartan still up 1. Caitlin Lamb will lead off the bottom half of the third for the Spartans. Lamb, the junior out of Bolingbrook, Illinois. Catcher for Coach Henry. Pineda threw the fastball, and Lamb has strike 1. Caitlin Lamb in the series, up 6 times, 2 hits. She's knocked in 2 runs as well with that double that she hit yesterday. Pineda's 1-1 pitch. Outside corner for strike 2. Pineda stands tall in that circle. Her body language exudes confidence. You can tell that she feels good about how she's pitching today. Counts even at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Especially after the second inning that she had, she looked like she really settled into this game compared to that first inning. Still just gave up 1 solo shot, but a couple runners on base, and now it looks like she feels like she's in control.
Pineda from California. And a 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed from Lamb. That's a strikeout for Pineda. Georgia's second strikeout. Second strikeout in the last 3 batters. That will bring Nyla Durham, the first-year right fielder for the Spartans, to the plate. Pitch in the outside corner for a strike. Nyla Durham from Hoban High School in Akron. Just a short trip down Route 77 from downtown Cleveland. That is a long foul ball.
And we've seen her try to get down a lot of bunts over the course of this series, but now with no one on, Josie Henry's going to have to let her hit. We'll see. Certainly she's got some power, seeing how that foul ball went.
Mackenzie Duford is warming up in the Emory bullpen right now. We saw Duford on Friday night. Durham, fly ball, left field. Boy, Nyla got a hold of that one. Sent Chu all the way to the warning track. It's an out. It's the second out of the inning. And that brings Kella Jagoda, the leadoff hitter, to the plate for the Spartans.
Now batting number 13, Kella Jagoda.
Jagoda in her first at bat had a ground ball that got just under the glove of Cooper at shortstop for a base hit.
There's that outside pitch. You can see the strike zone's not what it was yesterday, and there's that consistency. It looked a lot like one of the calls that we saw earlier.
Jagoda, the senior, a year ago as a junior, hit .326. She is 6 for 10 in this series against Emory. Kella really drew everybody's attention her first year here on campus. She started in 34 games, batted .414. Ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike to Jagoda. She has had an outstanding career for Case Western. Pineda. Jagoda fouls it back. Counts even, or counts full now at 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And this is a big pitch right here. This will either end the inning or it extends it. And the Spartans, we've seen time and time again, have been able to do a lot of work when they have 2 outs and runners on. So Pineda needs to get this out, whether it's a strikeout or get a ground out here in the infield.
That's going to be foul again. Jagoda not easy to strike out. In 81 at-bats, Kella on the season has struck out only 7 times. Leads the team in walks with 15. Pineda has struck out 2 of the last 4 batters she's faced, though. She's 1 strike away from doing it again. Here comes the pitch, and it's high for ball 4. So the 16th walk of the season for Kella Jagoda. And this could be the opportunity that Sarzucci was talking about. Base runner on, 2 outs. You've got speed at first base, although Kella was thrown out in the first inning by Lillian Ware. An inning where Ware threw 2 Spartan runners out at second base. And you've got Potts at the plate who can hit it.
And we'll see how eager the Spartans are to try and steal once again, but knowing Coach Henry, she won't shy away from it.
First pitch strike to Karen Potts. Potts walked in that first inning, then was thrown out trying to steal. Today's the kind of day, if you're a softball fan, that you just love. It's a lazy Sunday approaching noontime. Temperatures just enough to make you feel warm. Coming out of a week where the weather was just enough to make you stay inside. Swing and a miss for strike 2 for Potts. But today is almost perfect for the first week of April in northeastern Ohio. The total eclipse is set to happen tomorrow afternoon, and northeastern Ohio is at the center of all this. Jagoda again to steal and again thrown out. That is 0 for 2 for Kella Jagoda. And what's interesting about that is Kella came into this series on the season in the stolen base category, 12 of 14. She's 0 for her last 2. We'll head to the top half of the 4th. Spartans still up a run. Ellie Zare steps into the right-handed batter's box for Emory. Kylie Hosey stares in at her catcher. Here comes the pitch. Zare straightaway center field. Jagoda is out there under it, and that's the first out of the inning.
There's that first pitch swing again, and Ellie Zare, of course, we mentioned, has a lot of strength underneath that. And that one just popped straight up for her. But there you go, Kylie Hosey getting the first inning. She's had some short innings, had a 6-pitch inning earlier as well. And if she can go 1, 2, 3 again quickly, that'll give the Spartans a huge boost.
Ella Hoyle now up. Hoyle, the sophomore. Ella out of Tualatin, Oregon. Played her high school softball at Lake Ridge. The 0-1 pitch. Kylie's done a great job, Sar, at hitting that spot on the inside corner. The problem is she's not getting it for a strike.
Yeah, she's got a couple groundouts and pop-outs from that spot. If she can just put it just a little bit off the batter, she'll turn a lot of those into more strikeouts for certain.
Boy, that was a great pitch. Hosey with a fastball with movement away from Hoyle. So Ella saw it coming right down the pipe. And by the time she committed and swang, it was in the left-handed batter's box. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hosey goes inside, jams Hoyle. And this is Barry across the diamond to Russo for out number 2.
And that's that inside pitch once again, just as you mentioned, jamming up the batter. And again, hasn't gotten the strikeouts off of it, but is getting forced plays like that.
Grace Cooper, the freshman shortstop. Grace struggling in the series, just 1 hit in 8 at-bats. Shows bunt, pulls it back, it's ball 1. So as much as she has struggled, though, at the plate in this series, she's made up for it with defense at shortstop.
Since that first inning, the Spartans have only given up, or just 1 hit in that first inning, rather, so no hits since then for Kylie Hosey.
That lone hit, Ashley Chu. Hosey's retired 10 in a row. And that's strike 1, counts 2-1 on the right-handed hitting Grace Cooper. Cooper with 1 strike shows bunt and fouls it off. So the count's even at 2. Cooper on the year hitting .342. She's got 26 hits and all but 4 of them are singles. The 2-2 pitch, and Kylie Hosey has now retired 11 batters in a row. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Spartans up a run. Sports Information Director Fast Eddie Karakis has reminded me that Kayla Lang actually led off the top of the 3rd, reaching on an error. So it's not 11 in a row that Hosey has retired, but it is 6. And it's 11 out of the last 12. Potts will lead it off, and that's a solid single that will fall in front of the center fielder. So Karen with a first pitch base hit.
And for Karen Potts, that's big. And Ron, you mentioned she was sort of in her version of a slump so far in this series. She was hitting just .333, and I say just because she's been on fire over the course of the season. So to get her back on base is a huge lift for the Spartans, bringing up Kai Gross, who already has a home run today.
And Pineda and Ware are going to talk about it. Lillian Ware, her catcher, out to talk to her pitcher. So Kai Gross in her last 2 at-bats in the 4th inning of yesterday's Game 2 doubleheader, and in her first at-bat today, has hit back-to-back home runs. 2 at-bats, 2 home runs. 1 to right field off the scoreboard, 1 to center field. Can she make it 3 in a row? Yesterday we called it a donut moment because every time Kai did something good, we all celebrated with a donut. A pitch to Kai Gross, first pitch swinging, it's fouled back. The reason, because her mom and dad graced the press box with donuts yesterday, and they were outstanding. So thanks again to Eric and Lily Gross. 0-1 pitch. Pineda will throw it to Kai Gross. Kai's feeling it. She likes how she feels in that batter's box right now. She's had a great season at the plate.
Certainly having a great series as well, hitting 400, including that home run. She's also got a double as well.
Counts 0-2. Here comes Pineda's pitch. It's outside and just off the plate. It's ball 1. Kai Gross with 5 home runs, 31 runs batted in. And the 1-2 pitch is low and outside. Counts now even. Kai leads the team in home runs, leads the team in runs batted in. Chasing only Karen Potts in base hits. Rolls it over. Ground ball to first, and Kai Gross almost beat Ella Hoyle to the bag.
Ron, that's what you called yesterday the Bermuda Triangle. That's where you hit it in between the first baseman, second baseman, and the pitcher. That one just dribbled in, and it forces Hoyle to get off the bag. She wisely just reached her glove out and tagged Gross instead of trying to actually get to the base, because Kylie Gross probably would have beat her there.
I agree with you, Sar. That was a very good decision by the first baseman from Emory, Ella Hoyle. So Rieger, the cleanup hitter, is now at the plate. Potts, her shortstop teammate, is standing at second base. 1 out in the inning. Pineda now pitching into the 4th inning for Emory, and she's given up only 3 hits.
And 2 strikeouts as well for her. She's played a very good game so far. The Spartans have broken through a couple times later in the game, especially yesterday. We'll see. This is around the point where they start to take off if they get some momentum.
Base hit. Will it score? It will. Potts coming around third. She's in safely. And down to second base is Rieger on the throw. Stevie Rieger with a big 1-out single. Moves to second on the throw. So she's now in scoring position for Biz Berry.
It's a big hit, and we talked about it yesterday, especially after the first game, a game where the Spartans had 15 hits but were only able to turn 4 runs off of them. In the second game, it was a lot better, 10-10. And today, so far, off their 4 hits with 2 runs, of course, one of them being a solo home run. But now here with just 1 out and still a runner in scoring position, they can really add to that and keep those numbers going, keep those timely hits coming for Josie Henry's offense.
For Stevie Rieger, who leads the team in hitting this year batting average-wise, hitting .426 coming into today. That was her 23rd run batted in, second only to Kai Gross.
And now after that last hit, she's 6 for 9 in this series. That was her second double as well, and she's batted in 7 runs just this weekend alone.
Emory coach India Childs out to talk to her team. Pineda is the 5th Emory pitcher that we have seen in this series. We saw Mackenzie Duford on Friday night. We saw Isabel Cohn on Friday and yesterday. We saw Alexis Bach or Lexi Bach twice yesterday. Actually, it's the 4th pitcher. We haven't seen Natalie Swift yet. They have 5 pitchers of record on this roster right now. The only one that we haven't seen is Natalie Swift. Pineda, I would argue, has done the best job so far against this Spartan lineup.
So far, so good. 4 hits and just the 2 runs again. But if she can get out of this inning just having allowed 1, especially with a runner still being stranded on second, that would be a huge lift for her.
Biz Berry Grounded out to third in her first at bat this afternoon. Counts even at 1. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Spartans up 2-0. They've won the first 3 games of this series, and they've done it handily. They have scored, 24 runs on 32 hits. And that pitch is low for ball 2. 24 runs on 32 hits in the first 3 games of this series. For comparison's sake, Emory scored 5 runs on 12 hits. Counts even at 2. I'll tell you this, Pineda can let it fly. The Spartans on her fastball are often late.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of foul balls because of that. We saw a foul tip for a strikeout when Elena Steffes was up to bat last time. I mean, she's got some power for sure, and she's using it at the right times, it feels like, as well.
There's an off-speed pitch on a 2-2 count. Just 1 out. And 2 outs. The Spartans have been dominated by Lillian Ware.
That's the 4th time they've been thrown out now. We've seen a couple going to second, and every throw that she's had while the Spartans have tried to steal a base today has been absolutely perfect, absolutely on the money every single time.
Lillian Ware has looked like, well, you know, when I think of the great catchers of the game of baseball, I think of Johnny Bench first and foremost. I'll be dating myself there, but not many people ran on Bench. And in today's game, right now, in this moment, nobody has run on Lillian Ware. She's got to be just having the time of her life back there.
Especially the way the rest of the series has gone with the Spartans stealing bases. They hadn't missed one.
We'll put Fast Eddie Caracas on how many stolen bases the Spartans had in the first 3 games. Ground ball to second, and this will end the inning. Spartans get a run. They're up 2-0 as we head to the 5th. As we start the top half of the 5th inning, the Spartans will have a new pitcher. Lexi Miskey will now come in to pitch for Case Western Reserve University. Coach Henry told me pregame she wanted to get, she likes to do in a 4-game series on the Sunday game, get the combination of Hosey and Miskey, each facing their opponent like twice through the lineup, or in the case of today, about a time and a half through the batting order. Hosey had not faced every batter in that Emory lineup twice, but she'd faced half of them twice. And since she's been so effective, giving up only 1 hit, we're already in the 5th inning. So it's time to bring in Lexi Miskey.
Yeah, and Hosey had 3 of her innings under 10 pitches, so we'll see if Lexi Miskey can keep up the efficiency that we've seen so far from the Spartans.
Now, this is the first time in the series that Emory will have seen the combination. And I like to say Lexi Miskey just hit the bull, or the Spartan. A Bull Durham reference. This will be the first time that Emory has seen the combination in one game of Hosey and Miskey. And they're completely two different pitchers. Miskey with the second ball to Sonia Klein. Both of them extremely successful in completely different ways. Miskey, a power pitcher, just now really getting comfortable and confident with her off-speed pitch. Rise ball is her money pitch, and there you see it on the 2-0 count. Hosey throws everything off speed, has the fastball with a little bit of movement, doesn't rival Miskey's velocity, but her changeup is second to nobody. Her changeup is her money pitch. So Emory with an in-game adjustment. Miskey throws the changeup. It's high for ball 3. Klein on the day 0 for 1. Popped up to the catcher, Caitlin Lamb, in her first at bat. And that's ball 4. So Klein's on. That will bring her freshman teammate, Lillian Ware, to the plate. And Ware is the storyline of the day, the catcher for Emory. I had asked in the last inning when Ware threw out her 4th runner of the game how many stolen bases the Spartans had in the first 3 games, because they were highly successful. And sorry, you found that answer, and it is?
They were 9 for 9 before today.
Nobody covering third. Russo gets over there, and they got her. Bella Russo came from first base to third. She charged on the bunt, kept her momentum going, went all the way across the diamond, and the Spartans make the play of the game. In a 2-0 game, that's the play of the game.
Number 9, Kayla Lang.
And you mentioned it, the runner sees that there's no one on third, takes off, and I don't know how Bella Russo got there before she did. That reaction was absolutely incredible. Get all the way from first.
So suddenly there are 2 outs. For the moment, and it was just a moment, it looked like Emory would have a runner at third with only an out in a 2-run game.
And you could see Bella Russo on that last play. She was about halfway between home plate and third base, and she was calling for that ball. She said, throw it to third now.
Russo and Durham both going for it. Nyla had the best opportunity at it. It falls foul. It's a long strike. One ball, one strike. Miskey on the mound. At the plate, Kayla Lang. Lang, before Klein walked to lead off this inning, Lang was the last Emory Eagle to get on base. She got on base on an error to start off the 3rd inning. Counts now 1-2. Miskey on the year, 13-2. Coming in to pitch for her teammate Kylie Hosey, who is 9-0. Hosey's in position to get today's win. And that's off Lamb's glove, high for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Spartans up 2-0. We're in the top half of the 5th. Lexi tries the changeup. Now on Friday and Saturday, that changeup was extremely effective.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised to see her go back to it on the 2-2 count there. That outside corner there, as you mentioned, Ron, it's not coming today. So we have been consistent with that tighter strike zone in this game so far.
Full count pitch, it's strike 3. Lamb loves it, so does Miskey. And the Spartans come in. A great play in that inning by Bella Russo. Went from first to third to cover on a bunt. And it stopped an Emory Eagle threat in a 2-run game. We head to the bottom of the 5th. It's Case Western Reserve 2, Emory nothing. Heading into the bottom half of the 5th here at Mather Park. And since we've got Emory's Lillian Ware behind the plate, we can finish our thought about Ware. So in the 3 games leading into today's 4th and final, the Spartans were 9 for 9 in stolen base attempts. Ware has thrown out all 4 would-be base stealers today. She's a perfect 4 for 4. And Fast Eddie Karakis, our sports information director, looked up the history of how many times the Spartans have been thrown out in one game. And
yeah, it's the only other time was 2 years ago against Carnegie Mellon. The Tartans were here and threw out the Spartans 4 times. In the last 20 years, they have not been thrown out 4 times in a single game outside of today and that game against Mellon.
It's a hard ground ball to third that wasn't handled by Sonia Klein, and Elena Steffes is on at first base. Bella Russo, play of the day so far, stepping to the plate right now. So if you're one of those folks who really loves to score and you like interesting situations, the Russo play in the scorebook will go like this: 5 to 4 to 3 for the out at third base. Third baseman to the second baseman for the out at first. Second baseman across the field to the first baseman at third for the out at third. Sounds like a who's on first situation, and there's a beautiful bunt.
Perfect bunt. She dropped that just away from the catcher, far enough to where nobody could get to it with time to throw it to her. That's a beautiful hit for Bella Russo. Couple plays on defense and now on offense. She's having a phenomenal game.
So Russo's base hit bunt moves Steffes to second and brings Caitlin Lamb, the catcher for the Spartans, to the plate.
Now batting number 2, Caitlin Lamb.
I was talking to Caitlin Lamb this morning before the game. She had a double a couple days ago. That drove in a run. She's had a couple hits over the course of this series and then last weekend as well that have gotten out close to the warning track. She's a very strong hitter. I joked with her, when are you going to get that home run? She's already got 2 this season, and this would be a great time for one here at Mather Park.
Every time is a great time for a home run, right, Sar?
We certainly saw a lot of them last time Emory was here. It was a weekend where the Spartans hit 13 home runs.
Lamb settles into the batter's box. Pineda's on the mound. Here comes the pitch. Ground ball in the hole. Off the shortstop's glove and holding at third and staying there and loading the bases for the Spartans. So Cooper's the shortstop. And I don't know if Grace caught a spike. She is, I don't know if it's her right hamstring or thigh right now, but her right leg, she's in a lot of pain. She went deep to the hole to get that. She's had a great weekend of playing shortstop. And again, I don't know if one of her spikes caught in the dirt, and she just kind of took a weird tumble.
I sure hope she's okay, especially the way she's played for Coach India Childs this weekend. It's been fun to watch her.
So Grace, to the applause of the fans here is going to come off the field. Obviously, they're going to check her out. In the meantime, Coach Childs is going to have to make a defensive substitution. So the Spartans have the bases loaded. And there's nobody out. And I believe Caitlin Zuzai is going to come in and hit. So not only will Coach Childs make an adjustment with her shortstop, but it appears that Coach Henry is also going to make a change. Nyla Durham is scheduled to hit. Yeah, it looks like Zuzai is going to hit for her. So the Spartans have the bases loaded, and they haven't hit the ball out of the infield. So there's a lot of movement going on with Emory's lineup. It's only one player, but I think there are going to be several players affected by it. So they're going to put Lang at third base. They're going to put Sonia Klein at shortstop, they meaning Emory. So Lang, the second baseman, moves over to third. Klein, the third baseman, moves to shortstop.
It looks like Ashley Chu went from left to second.
Base, yeah.
And Natalie Swift will take her spot in the outfield.
All right, there you go. And Zuzai is the pinch hitter. That rotation of players defensively for Emory was significant. Swift is in left. Lang is at third base. Klein is at shortstop. And Chu is now at second base. Boy, if I'm Grace Cooper and I'm negotiating my contract, I'll say, look how valuable I am. I come out of the game and you've got to switch 4 players.
And she has been that valuable for Coach Childs this weekend. She's made a lot of defensive plays.
Kaylin Zuzai at the plate for the Spartans. Bases full of teammates. Nobody out. Bottom of the 5th. The pitch from Pineda is called a strike. Zuzai from Texas. She's like a big old Texas hit right now. Everything's big in Texas, right?
That's what they say. She's 0 for 1 in this series, just the one at bat. So interested to see how she'll face Pineda today, who's had a good game.
Boy, wouldn't it be fun if she hits a big old home run? I mean, that would be fantastic. That would turn the game. It's 2-0. Spartans have had 6 hits in the game. They've loaded the bases in this inning without hitting a ball out of the infield. Pineda's 1-1 pitch. Zuzai with a big old cut. Fouls it back at strike 2. I think Kaylin saw one she liked, Sar.
Looked like it. I mean, she was swinging at that one. Pineda's done a great job moving her pitches around, changing what type of pitch she's been throwing and where they're hitting, because nobody seemed to get a certain tell on her of where she's going to go at any point in the count.
High and tight. Kalen did not take the temptation. It's a beautiful pitch by Pineda on a 1-2 count. You've got a free swinger at the plate. Tempt her with that high fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Here comes Pineda's pitch. And she gets Zuzai swinging on another high fastball. Went right back to the well. This time just made it more attractive because it was out and over the plate. Zuzai could not catch up with it. And Pineda gets a huge out.
Yeah, it's her 3rd strikeout of the day. Again, despite the 6 hits and despite having bases loaded, she really has played a good game. Coach Childs is going to go talk to her about how to approach this. Top of the Spartan lineup, still bases loaded and 1 out. Everything seems to be on the table for them right now. Emory's got to make a play defensively.
It will be, as Sar said, Kella Jagoda that comes to the plate. Jagoda today has been up twice. She's been on twice. And Pineda will be replaced, and she's getting a round of applause from the Emory Eagles fans in attendance, and it's well-deserved. She has been outstanding. Now, all 3 runners on are her responsibility. So at this moment, she's given up in 4 1/3 innings, only 2 runs on 6 hits. The innings will stay the same, the hits will stay the same, but the runs could change depending on what the Spartans do with the 3 runners on. So coming into pitch for Emory will be Mackenzie Duford. We saw Mackenzie on Friday night in a much different environment. It was cold. It had snowed at some point during the game, before the game, and it was just an all-out ugly night. And Mackenzie had to pitch in that atmosphere. I'm sure she's liking today a whole lot better.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Now pitching for Emory, number 25, Mackenzie Duford.
In that game, Mackenzie went 3 2/3 innings. She gave up 7 hits. She gave up 7 earned runs. She walked 3 and struck out 1. Now, Mackenzie on the year is the top pitcher in this
Once again, now
for this Emory team. She has thrown 64 2/3 innings. She's got 8 wins, 4 losses. Her earned run average, a very respectable 3.57. Friday night was not her friend, though. So here we go. Jagoda will stand in, the senior center fielder. Base hit in the first inning, infield hit. Walked in the 3rd. Here comes the pitch, and it's outside for ball 1.
And Duford's also got 47 strikeouts on the season. She's certainly a talented pitcher, as you mentioned, Ron. She's the ace for this team, and they have a lot of faith in her right now to try and get them out of this jam. And if they do, this game suddenly feels like momentum can shift in favor of Emory. So this is certainly a big inning here.
Strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Steffes is on at 3rd. Russo's on at 2nd. Lamb's at first base. This is Jagoda. High and outside. It's ball 2. The only out in the inning, a Pineda strikeout of Zuzai. Low and inside, ball 3. The Eagle fans not happy. A very important pitch. Here it comes. Outside corner. Jagoda taken all the way. It's a called strike, too.
That's a perfect pitch to find that low outside corner. It's far enough out that you don't want to swing at it, but it's just inside.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Slap to the shortstop, and that's an infield error. Klein, the third baseman, was moved over to shortstop when Cooper got hurt. And that's going to score a run.
And that's a big error as well, and you wonder how much Grace Cooper not being in the game has to do with that, but certainly a play that hurts Emory, and that leaves the bases loaded with still just the 1 out, and that lineup's not getting any easier for the Spartans.
Now Potts is coming up to bat next. A pinch runner is going to come in, running for the catcher. So Lamb, who was on at second, is going to come out, and Tara Fritcher, the sophomore outfielder from Versailles, Ohio, is going to come in and run.
And the reason for that is because if we get a base hit, especially if there's something that goes into the left field side, Fritcher with her speed will be able to turn the corner and go home.
So it's Russo, Fritcher, and Jagoda on the base path.
Number 3, Tara Fritcher.
This is Karen Potts who will step in. Potts on the day. 1 for 1. She scored a run. She had a base hit to straightaway center in the 4th inning and scored later. She walked in the 1st and was thrown out trying to steal second base. A day that Lillian Ware, the freshman catcher for Emory, is going to keep in her memory book. She is 4 of 4 in throwing out would-be base stealers. First pitch, Potts looks at an outside strike. Mackenzie Duford on the mound, the sophomore from Seminole, Florida. Second pitch, ground ball by the second baseman. It will score 2. Fritcher coming in from second.
Potts sliding into second. How about her getting all the way over there, making that a double?
And a hard ground ball through the infield. The infield pulled in, and that one slipped under the glove of Chu. 2 runs batted in for Karen Potts.
Now batting, number 17, Kylie Gross.
So Russo and Fritcher score. Potts is standing at second, and Jagoda's at third. The inning's not over. Kai Gross 1 for 2 today. She hit a home run in the 1st inning. Counts even at 1. 1 out. Spartans have taken a 2-0 tight game and opened it up here in the bottom half of the 5th. It's now 5-0 Case Western Reserve. Gross rolls one over, and it's in the hole between second and first. That's going to score 1 more. And a great throw from the right fielder for Emory. That's Abby Wiley out there, the freshman Wiley, with an outstanding throw.
We've seen Wiley make a couple good throws so far this series. That's another one, but want to give a shout out to Kai Gross. That's her 100th career hit here at Case Western Reserve, and it sends in another run. Or sorry, 100 career runs batted in, not hits.
Now batting, number 20, Stevie Ringer.
And Gross in the series has 7 runs batted in, just in this series.
That's right, including that home run earlier today as well.
It's now 6-0. Kai will walk down to second base.
We saw a similar play yesterday. They're going to go send a runner to second, try to go home on the throw. It's what call a catcher's indifference there. They're going to have to let that go so they don't allow the run to come back.
Stevie Rieger's at the plate, and Rieger's got 2 in scoring position. Stevie, fly ball, right field line. Wiley chasing after it. Wiley with a great catch in foul territory. Turns and throws a strike near home plate. 1 run in. Tagging and scoring was Potts. But what a great play by the freshman right fielder.
Yeah, Wiley first with that throw coming home to leave Potts at third a moment ago, and then that play to get the second out of the inning. She's having a nice day out there in right field. Not a lot of action over there, but she's been good when it's come to her.
Potts scored. Kai Gross tagged and went from second to third, so now with 2 outs in the inning, Biz Berry, the 9th batter of the inning, comes to the plate. It's outside for ball 1. Four Spartan hits, 2 Emory errors have led to 5 runs in this inning. Ground ball, second base, and this will end the inning. Chu over to Hoyle. Berry is retired 4-3. We head to the top of the 6th. Spartans put 5 on the board, though, and they lead 7-0. The big Madagascar hit playing here at Mather Park right now, and everybody's liking to move it, move it. Bisberian and Karen Potts, left side of that infield. Moving it, moving it. Jenny Yaklich now into pitch this top of the 6th for the Spartans. Yaklich, the senior out of Lyman, Colorado. While Jenna was at Lyman High School, she finished her academic career valedictorian.
Abby Wiley.
Top in her class. Yaklich getting some good work this weekend, Sar.
Yeah, she had an inning earlier in the series. We saw her start the game last Sunday. So this will be the 3rd different pitcher Emory will see today, and we'll see if they take some sort of different approach. We saw a lot of first pitch attempts on Kylie Hosey. Of course, didn't see it right there. We saw Lexi Miskey have another good game, keep the one-hitter going. She didn't give up a hit. In fact, the only hit for Emory in that first inning. So the Spartans would love to close this out, have 3 pitchers go a successful day.
Abby Wiley at the plate. That's Biz Berry at third on a foul. Wiley making two great plays in the bottom of the fifth defensively for her Emory Eagles team. Leads off the top of the sixth. Spartans trying to win their 23rd game. If they win today, they're 8-0 in UAA play and 23-2 overall. And Yaklich gets a first batter strikeout.
Yeah, quick 3-pitch strikeout. That's a great way to start coming in the game.
Now batting, number 2.
Kylie Hosey started the game. Hosey went 4 innings. And in those 4 innings, she struck out 3, did not walk a batter, and gave up just 1 hit. She was outstanding. She's in position to win her 10th game of the season against no losses. Miskey pitched the 5th inning, walked a batter, struck out a batter, faced only 3. Pop up infield, it will stay in the fence, and Caitlin Lamb with a real nice athletic play from her catcher position to get the second out of the inning.
That's been the biggest thing I'm noticing in this game compared to the rest of the series for the Spartans. Even though they've pitched very well, the efficiency that we've seen today has been absolutely astounding. We saw so many innings end under 10 pitches for Kylie Hosey. Lexi Miskey just kept it going, and we're seeing that so far for Jenna Yaklich as well in the first 2 outs.
This is Ashley Chu, the number 2 hitter, 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Chu first pitch swinging. Chu's base hit came in the first. It was a slap style, just like that one. It fell softly into the shallow grass of left field. One ball, one strike. Yaklich has spent her entire time here at Case Western in the, more times than not, relief role in the circle. It's a foul ball for strike 2. Her career high in innings pitched came in April a year ago against Carnegie Mellon. She threw 5 innings against the Tartans. A year ago, she tied a program record for saves in a season. That 1-2 pitch, hard to take. Jenna thought she had her. Count on Chu is now even at 2. Nice play to Potts. Karen Potts, all 6 foot of her, catches that line drive, and we head to the bottom of the 6th. Spartans up 7. It's 7-0.
Leading off the bottom of the 6th inning.
All right, here we go. Bottom of the 6th from Mather Park on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. We are all hoping for a day tomorrow like the day is today weather-wise. The total eclipse is scheduled to happen in the late afternoon. And right now the forecast is cloudy. We'd like those clouds to clear so we can all enjoy something that happens for many of us only once in a lifetime. Alana Steffes in the batter's box for the Spartans as we start this 6th inning. Counts even at 1 ball, 1 strike to Steffes. Steffes on the day, 0 for 2. Struck out in the 2nd, reached and scored in the 5th, but reached on an error by the 3rd baseman. In that 5th, the Spartans put 5 runs on the board on 4 hits and 2 Emory errors. Counts now even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Case Western came into today 7-0 in University Athletic Association play. Washington University right behind them at 5-2. The Spartans will play in St. Louis in a 4-game series against Wash U. Is it next weekend, Eddie?
This weekend coming up.
Yeah, next weekend. Coming up.
Yeah.
So that has turned into a showdown series.
Certainly has. They'll be on the road for 2 straight weekends as well. So it'll be a bigger series for them, too.
Wiley back, right field, off her glove, off the wall, and Steffes checks in for a double. Alana Steffes flexing her forearms, goes opposite field, almost hits it out of the park.
Steffes has had a lot of extra base hits. Had a double earlier in this series as well. That's a big shot that time. She was sitting on that. We saw the first foul ball. She really got a good piece of it, too. And this time she's able to keep it in play and get all the way to second base standing up.
So here's Russo. Bella 1 for 2 on the day. First pitch strike. Bella got the bat head on that one, liked it. Hit a line drive that screamed foul. Bella in her first year here in 2022. Started in 37 games for Coach Henry. She was all-league second team, and she hit .357. A year ago, she started in all 43 games and hit .339.
And including today, she's hitting 4 for 10 in this series, so hitting .400.
Steffes advances on the pitch in the dirt. She's now at third for her teammate Bella Russo.
Bella Russo's already driven in 10 runs on the season. We'll look to add 1 more. They've been really good today with runners in scoring position as a team.
Two balls, 2 strikes, nobody out to Russo. Steffes on at third. That pitch is high and outside. Counts now full. "24 games, 24 starts for Russo. Full count pitch, and it's outside, ball 4. Caitlin Lamb's walk-up music. A selection from Star Wars? Yes.
Now batting, number 2, Caitlin Lamb.
Olivia is in charge of the walk-up music. Do you get text messages from
people down there for requests? Oh, yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
A couple times.
She takes requests as well. Of course, all music has to clear the approval of John Schwartz, the Vice President of Communications, and Otto Pennica, the Hall of Famer. Nobody cares what Fast Eddie Karakas thinks. No balls, one strike. Pitch is outside, and it's a ball. Count is now even to Caitlin Lamb. Swing and a miss. Nice play. Throw to the plate. That is a beautiful, outstanding play by Ashley Chu.
Yeah, and quick decision-making, too. Don't go for the out at first. You can see the runners trying to come home and get the throw in there. It's timely, and it was effective. Steffes knew that once that ball came in, she had no chance. Had to be a perfect throw, too.
And it was. Chu had to make a good play on the hit. I mean, that was kind of a weird ball off the bat. It was in between a line drive caught or a short hop that would be tough to handle. And Ashley made not only the short hop and handled it well, but as Sar pointed out, had to be perfect at the plate and was. So Jordan Manwarren will now come in and bat for the Spartans. And Jordan's going to hit in that ninth spot that has been occupied by Nyla Durham and Kayla Zuzai.
Now batting for Case Western Reserve.
And she's hit well so far this series. 2 hits in her 6 at-bats, including a double. She's driven in 2 runs. She's got a runner on third as well.
Pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Lamb will walk down to second. Nobody giving her a second look as Russo's standing at third. Duford on the mound. Here comes her 0-1 pitch. It's low and outside, counts now even. The first 4.5 innings of this softball game moved along at breakneck pace, and then the bottom of the 5th has just put the brakes on.
And that 5-run inning certainly slowed things down.
Line drive, base hit. It's going to score a run, maybe 2. Here comes the play at the plate, and they will not have it. They only needed 1 to win it. If you're up 8, in the 6th, the game's over. And the base hit from Manwarren scored Russo, and that closed out the game.
With her stolen base in the bottom of the 5th inning, senior Kylie Gross set a program record with the 77th steal of her career. Congratulations, Kylie.
So Manwarren's base hit scores Russo. Makes it 8-0, and that's the final. Otto Pennica just mentioned a record-setting moment for Kai Gross.
Yeah, huge day for her. If you heard Otto Pennica, 77 career stolen bases now after her steal in the bottom of the 5th. That's a new program record on the same day that not only did she get to 100 runs batted in, but also off the home run scored her 100th run in the career at Case Western Reserve University. So just a cherry on top of a great weekend for her.
Man, I think her mom and dad ought to take her out for a special dinner. They're sitting in front of us within earshot. I don't think they heard me, but we'll tell them personally as we leave the press box. Oh, he heard. Dad heard. Yep. Yeah, special dinner for Kai Gross tonight. Compliments of her mom and dad. Whatever it is she wants, she should get.
Now, you joked that Ron Jans is paying as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just tell them to put it on my tab at wherever you go. I'll be right there. Eric and Lily Gross, it's always fun seeing them. So 8-0 the final. 4 games against Emory, 4 wins. Spartans now 8-0 in University Athletic Association play. They swept NYU last weekend. They sweep Emory this weekend. They go on the road now, Sar, for 2 straight weekends.
They do. They'll have WashU and Brandeis 2 consecutive weekends, same structure, 4 games in 3 days before coming home to face Carnegie Mellon. And this is a Spartan team that's hot. They have won 24 consecutive UAA conference games now after 2 consecutive sweeps to start this season.
Say that again? 24
consecutive UAA wins.
That is a lot. So 23-2 on the season. For Fast Eddie Karakis, our sports information director, for Otto Penica, our public address announcer, my partner, as always, Sarzucci. My name's Ron Jans. We'd like to thank you for watching. As always, we're really pleased and glad to bring you these broadcasts, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a great day.